There's two truths everyone holds to be self-evident. No one reads anymore, and private equity destroys companies. But one company violates that narrative. Barnes & Noble has pulled off a spectacular comeback after getting acquired by hedge fund Elliott Advisors in 2019. Having spent the 2010s shuttering stores and bleeding cash, in 2025, Barnes & Noble plans to open 60 new locations, having cut the ribbon on 57 stores last year.
And it has a lot to do with this guy.
People come to bookstores because they're good bookstores.
Barnes & Noble CEO James Daunt was tapped to lead the chain shortly after the acquisition. But let's flash back to the 2010s. At the time, its financial reports read like a horror novel. The chain was licking its wounds from trying to compete with a certain e-commerce giant.
Amazon just ate everybody's lunch.
Add into the mix a troubled foray into e-readers with the Nook, and suddenly revenue was declining.
Which eventually led to
retrenching, cutting costs, and that of course made everything worse.
In a quest to juice short-term profit, Barnes & Noble lost the plot when it came to its core mission, selling these things. The company fired some of its highest paid but also most experienced booksellers. As sales continued to slow, Barnes & Noble shuttered dozens of locations nationwide. Elliott Advisors swooped in to buy Barnes & Noble for the price of its inventory. They allowed Daunt to focus on making Barnes & Noble a better bookstore, which he knows a thing or two about. Before he was brought on, he was known for rescuing the British bookstore chain Waterstones, and before that, he was an indie bookseller.
Vocational booksellers run very good bookstores if you leave them alone.
Daunt made book curation the domain of local store managers rather than the folks at HQ, firing dozens of New York-based book buyers. This gave every store a unique personality that appeals to its local clientele.
Now we have a lot more avenues for getting in things that appeal to our customer at a local level.
The stores have gotten less cookie cutter, but rest assured you'll find a romantasy section at any Barnes & Noble location you go to. And here we have the books I spark noted in high school. Sorry, Mr. Mitchell.
Daunt also ended the practice of allowing publishers to pay to have their books displayed in stores, which filled shelves with titles absolutely no one wanted to read. And now stores are sending far fewer unsold books back to publishers.
But it's not just book curation that changed. Daunt spearheaded a store design overhaul, taking inspiration from bookstores he visited abroad. This store in the Upper West Side got a major glow-up.
The tables got smaller for sharper curation, the lighting became brighter, and it moved away from its somber dark academia aesthetic with shelves made from lighter wood.
Barnes & Noble's redemption arc shows that a private equity acquisition doesn't always entail MBA managers cold-heartedly gutting a company.
I've never read a business book in my life, and I never intend to.
Perhaps it's because when you're in the bookstore business, there's plenty of other reading to do.